You have discovered the 10th sermon of Vivec, which was hidden in the words that came in the aftermath to the Hortator. The evoker shall rise his left hand empty and open to indicate he needs no weapons of his own. The coming forth is always hidden, so the evoker is always invisible, or better, in the skin of his enemies. The eyelid of the kingdom shall fill 36 folios, but the eye shall read the world. By this the Hortator needs me to understand. The sword is an impatient signature. Write no contracts on the dead. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Boethia. We pledge ourselves to you, the frame maker, the scarab, a world for us to love you in, a cloak of dirt to cherish. Betrayed by your ancestors when you were not even looking, Hoary Magnus and his ventured opinions cannot sway the understated, a trick worthy of the always satisfied. A short season of towers, a rundown of absolution, and what is this but fire under your eyelid? Shift ye in your skin, I say to the Trinimach eaters. Pitch your voices into the color of bruise. Divide ye like your enemies in houses, and lay your laws in set sequence from the center, again like the enemy corners of the house of troubles, and see yourself thence as timber, or mudslats, or sheets of resin. Then do not divide, for yet is the stride of cities quicker than the rush of enemies, and he will sunder the whole for the sake of a shingle, for we go different, and in thunder. Sit is the start of all true houses, built against stasis and lazy slaves. Turn from your predilections, broken like false maps. Move and move like this. Quicken against false fathers, mothers left in corners, weeping for glass and rain. Stasis asks merely for nothing, as you were in the 8 everlasting imperfections. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, understand that Citis still travels. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec in a phosphorescent mirror of the sky. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, drowned and smiling. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, intermittent hopes enough. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, to answer all the things. Vivec says unto the Hortator, remember the words of Vivec, not yet queried. The ending of the words is Am Sivi. This sermon tells of the wisdom that Vivec passed to Nervar after the war with Nords. The evoker here refers to chimeri leaders and their people in general. From Sermon 1, in left hand Vivec held the power to destroy the world. To show that it is empty is to declare your power to boldly face your enemies. The coming forth, as mentioned in previous sermon, refers to the beginnings and endings of war. So conflict is always hidden, as in the enemy will try to surprise you, ambush you. Because of that threat, the chimeri should remain hidden or hide among their other enemies to deceive and misdirect them. The left hand, which holds destructive force, shown to be empty, is also a trickery on your foes to hide your true might. Evoker is a summoner, a conjurer. Vivec, as a mystic, here uses that term to refer to himself, and through him the entire chimeri race as he represents them. The eyelid of a kingdom shall fill 36 folios. Here eyelid is once again Vivec. Just like eyelid protects the eye, Vivec is the protector of Morrowind, the kingdom. But if Vivec is the eyelid, then who is the eye? The eye shall read the world. So the eye, whoever that might be, will know and understand the world. Could the eye be Nervar, or the Nervarine, as the prophesied hero, through his trials and lessons with Tribunal and the conflict with Dagathur? He gains a true understanding of the world. Nervarine will read the world, but still needs a guidance of Vivec to do so. Here once more we hear of the sword and the dead. In previous sermons, the sword referred to Ayem, and Sect was described as dead. This could refer to Ayem's fiery nature of a warrior, impatient signature, her quick judgment, swift verdict. Write no contracts on the dead. Do not rely on Sotasil, as he is busy with his clockwork city. Do not bind him with agreements, as his only true allegiance lies with his creation. However, this passage can also mean to remind the Chimer of the rashness of anger and to leave wrongdoings in the past. Do not dwell on them and seek vengeance. Vivec reminds then Nervar of the wisdom of Boethia. The frame maker, the scarab, those are Lorkhan's titles, by which he is known to the Chimeri. Frame maker, because he provided the idea of a mortal realm, which he and other Etada created. Boethia calls Lorkhan the world, as it is said on other sources that he literally became Nirn, as his heart is the heart of the world. A cloak of dirt, a mundane object, common yet useful and valuable, a treasure to anyone who can appreciate it. Betrayed by your ancestors. The words of Boethia are directed to the Chimer, so their ancestors are the Aedra who betrayed Lorkhan. This is also mentioned in Mysterium Xarxes commentaries, which describes the Aedra as usurpers of Lorkhan's Daedric realm, and also claims of their treachery. The ventured opinions of Magnus are decisions to abandon Mundus near the end of its creation, and the understated are the Aedra. Magnus fled, while the Auriel, Ifra, and the rest of Earthbones remained behind, tied to the world. The always satisfied are the Daedra, who are content in their own realms, and refrained from contributing to the creation. A short season of towers. I believe this refers to Kalpas, the cosmic seasons, made possible by the towers. Short, for what is time to any god? The rundown absolution. This is the convention, Lorkhan's judgment and punishment. Absolution, because the victims, the Aedra, have their justice served by ripping out Lorkhan's heart. They believe that, with his downfall, his sin has been settled. Ever wondered why the divines have never acted upon the Chezarines? According to them, there is no need. The fire under the eyelid. Fire represents divine knowledge, godly understanding. But here, the eyelid is just an eyelid. The eye, an individual, witnesses the eyelid from behind. Once the eyelid is known, the eye can study the world. The fire is the enlightenment, which leads one to open their eyes, to know the nature of the world. The Trunimag Eaters are the followers of Boethia, the Chimer people who devoted to Veloth. The phrase, shift ye in your skin, pitch your voices into the color of bruise. Here Vivec is foretelling the eventual transformation of Chimer into Dunmer. Then Vivec instructs his people how to proceed in order to survive. The structure of great houses, the laws of Chimer society, the laws of set sequence from the center, like the Bad Daedra. What he means is that the society requires structure and hierarchy, where every Chimer has a role to play so that the whole can function flawlessly. But the division of clans, houses, and castes is necessary, and yet the Chimer must be one nation, unified in their ways, to prevail against enemies. The work of chaos is quick. Distrust and divisions will destroy the Chimer faster than any foe. For we go different and in thunder. These words were spoken by Vivec before in Sermon 8. Different means the path Prophet Veloth has led the Aldmer, which caused them to become Chimer, the changed ones, the different. In thunder refers to the strength of their faith, of their conviction of Boethia's philosophy. Citisit, which is change, which is chaos, is the start of all the great houses, as chaos is a ladder through which power is consolidated and leaders emerge. The idea of houses is against stasis or stagnation, as internal struggles of the Chimer keep them strong and vigilant. Vivec calls for his people to stop their preferences and favoritism and instead form a merit-based society, as these predilections will lead the people astray like a false map. Move and move like this is a clear reference to the barons who move like this. Vivec here directs his people to always pursue martial excellence. Just like the barons always study and invent new fighting styles, so should the Chimer always train. False fathers and weeping mothers. Figures of authority, the fathers here are poor leaders, The mothers are those who set themselves at the mercy of the fate, weeping for glass and rain, waiting for someone to give them the glass and for rain to fill it. It is a warning against helplessness and advice to make your own life better. Do not expect help or kindness. Seize your fortune yourself. Very in line with Boethiah's teachings. Stasis here can refer to Anu, which by definition does nothing, wants nothing, just exists. As you were in the 8 everlasting imperfections. The 8 imperfections are the Aedra, which even though are eternal but ultimately flawed deities. As we were nothing within them, as parts of their souls before Mundus was made and the old and wandering Elnathe emerged, then we were nothing, a true absence of existence, is not. Then Vivec implores Nerevar to remember these words, understand that Citis still travels, in a phosphorescent mirror of the sky, drowned and smiling, intermittent hopes enough to answer all the things not yet queried. Citis is the same as Citis, Padome, the force of change. Phosphorescent means emitting light after being exposed to the light. The wheel, the orbis, is the intersection of the two forces, Anu and Padome. Anu is the light, and where the two forces mingle, Padome is absorbing that light, hence phosphorescent, mirror of the sky. This passage is a warning against disorder among the Chimeri people. Citis is also limitation, setting boundaries, and questions not yet asked are uncertain within endless possibility. Will they be asked? When and by who? It is Citis who anchors the possible to become certain, gives the question a fixed, unchangeable answer.